Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, fellow Ambazonians, dear Africans. I greet you all. This is ABS TV, and it is a very special day here tonight, and we shall be discussing a variety of issues. I first of all want to give special salute to every fighter called Ambazonian Guerrilla Fighters right there in Ground Zero. For all of you watching everywhere around the world, particularly on Ground Zero and around Africa, I say I hail you. To everyone in the diaspora that contribute in one way or the other so that the people of Southern Cameroon can go free, I say I salute you all. I thank you all for your bravery. I thank you all for standing up for this revolution. It is our revolution to win. It is our fight to win. And it is time. We shall not transfer this revolution to the next generation. We are the never again generation. My comrades, brothers and sisters, uncertainty looms over La Republic of Cameroon. We have to stand up and watch the events, and we will not only watch, we will stand and act, because it is time, and the time is now. And so, get ready, and let me tell you how we do it. For today is a special night. I shall be bringing to you very special comrades on this forum tonight. We shall be receiving Mr. Mark Barata. We shall also be receiving Mr. Jackson, the chairman for Momo, and also the defense expert for the IG faction. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please let us share as much as possible so that other comrades can join us for this special talk tonight. Share as much as possible so that we can go direct into the topic of tonight. We shall win this struggle. Remember, the independence of Southern Cameroon is irrevocable and irreversible. It is our fight to win once again. So Amba Truth, Godchild, welcome on board. Yes, we must win. Welcome, Amba Truth. Caprice Kapi Archer Ernest is watching. Please, can you share as much as possible? Let our friends, our family members, let everyone come tonight. We shall discuss, because the stakes are high. And at this crucial time, only truth, only collaboration, only unity can make the magic and make things possible. That's why I'm here, to take you through this period so that we watch it together, so that we navigate together, so we move together as a people, because we are children of one family. Can you please share as much as possible so that we come to this discussion tonight? We are just 148. 148. It is very difficult to start at this moment. Can you please share? Can we give a small interlude of music while we try to share as much as possible to our groups? If the technician is on seat, please give us a music. Yeah. While we go through this.
Système ya Benda. Paul Kapunda, président Benjamin Mouteba. Jean-Sébastien Massiala, Jacques Banzamoujiga.
Use this link, sign in, then you put that password. Please share. Okay, once again we are here. Yes, the technician, we are back again into the studios, and let me call my friends and comrades, the defense chief for the interim government and Mr. Mark Barata to get ready as I prepare for them to join us. We are in a very serious situation. When I will be 50 years, or when I will be 60, I will be telling my children, I will be telling other people, younger generation, what I witnessed in my time, when I was at my prime, when I was in my 40s, or before the years 40. I will be telling them how we knew a dictator that was born almost the same time that I was born. I mean, who started ruling at the time I was born? And I grew up to be a man married with great children, and he was still there. I will tell my children about Paul B. Abib Vondo, who ruled for over 40 years. I will tell them about the citizens of La République du Cameroon that could not be courageous like Ambazonians. All they know is how to marginalize us and think that they are superhuman beings. But they could never effect change in their own country. I will tell them how a man stayed in power or at the parliament for a very long time. I will tell them their Senate was an old man that was supposed to be inside an old people's home. I will tell them how the roads were so deplorable in their country. I will tell them how development was stagnant for over 30 years, that this phobia was on sea. I will tell my people or the children in those days that they are lucky not to have experienced such a situation. ID cards that are a necessity has become a luxury. It is very difficult to have an ID card in Cameroon. It is a nation that you can never imagine. In Cameroon, you will see people making occasions on the streets. They block traffic in as much as you have money to bribe the officers. They block everybody from going to work and people go late. Tell me how development can come to such a country. Tell me how when the old that are supposed to be in care homes are living in the country, how will the development come? The youths were hopeless. The youths are hopeless. Yet, they have taken suffering to be a normality. They have taken suffering to be a normality. They call their officers. They build a special force they call B, which is in another name called to kill. Their job description is to kill, QA. They send them into our country, into Ambazonia, into the southern Cameroons with the immunity to kill. If you are a killer, you are their own best person. And that is why they can have moja on the streets of southern Cameroon, destroying our people, killing our people, and moving freely. It doesn't happen anywhere in this earth, except in La République du Cameroon. Then they went and confessed that they tried to assimilate us, but they could not succeed. Despite this confession, they will never let us go. We have said enough is enough. We cannot share the same country with them. We have to go our way. 61 years is too much. What did they do? They sent their military into our land. They pierce us on all sides. They punish our people. They burned our houses. They raped the women. They killed any boy they see. Our people have become an endangered species. We look perplexed at what is happening in our home country. And we have no other place we can call home. I have my Buka. I have my Batibo. It is the best place I have on earth. My only wish is to be there. Others have their own places in Menji. They wish to be there. Others in Kikaikom. Others all around the diaspora. Those of us that fight, we come from one place or the other. Either from Tobin, either from Manu, either from Bello, or wherever around Ambazonia. However enclave the place is, we long to be there. But La République du Cameroon think that we should not have a country. They should have only our materials.
Naitembula ikusani Anita chamala Atakoyo na mopembo Tinaka basango Nae bata Masoba koleka Nae komote mape Itonda na zua Anita chamala Atakoyo na mopembo Tinaka basango Nae bata Masoba koleka Nae komote mape Itonda na zua Anita chamala
Maria Capone, Dakinselo, océan de sagesse.
Nanyokwa nini
Okay, once again, dear Ambazonians, televiewers all around the world, welcome to join me once again to this very special edition. We are very, very sorry for that interruption. We gave a link to one of our comrades that will be joining us that accidentally took me off from the air. We are back again and we have to continue with the show. And in a short while, I shall be bringing the other comrades right in. And so I was trying to tell you people, my dear Ambazonians, that these are two wars in front of us. This is a war in Ukraine, and this is a war in the southern Cameroons. This is a war in Europe, and this is a war in Africa. Two wars, two locations in two different continents, two different outcomes, two different responses. In fact, one that is with special attention and one having a situation of neglect. The world has showed us how impartial, how the international system is very corrupt and do not give value to certain categories of people. We have one war that is concerned with whites and one that is concerned with blacks. One from one superpower, Russia, against a smaller nation, Ukraine, and they are all crying. There is another power, much more than us, La République du Cameroun, sponsored by France, against a non-state party, Ambazonia. Yet, 5 years, they are not saying anything. 5 years, all they know is to deceive us with negotiations that do not come. They know what to do, but they do not do it. A genocide is unfolding in the southern Cameroons, and the world is paying a deaf ear. Today, we are having a situation whereby our people have cried enough, but there is a God of vengeance, and it is time. The problems they had not solved before is facing them today. The choice is theirs, but they didn't take advantage. And the sword is in their court. Uncertainty looms all around La République du Cameroun. We don't like killing, but we only can say Ambazonians are up to the task now. But we may miss it if we do not rise up and stand as a people. I am here because the world has not stood for us. I am here because we need to stand for ourselves. I am here tonight because we need to fight like children of one family. I am here tonight with guests that are special people that were there in the beginning. They know the trouble we are facing from the beginning. They have been there. They have faced it. They have heard the cries of our people. They never rest. They know what we can do. And that is why I'm bringing this special gentleman, Mr. Mark Barata, and Mr. Jackson. Can you bring them up, technician? Mr. Mark Barata is right here, and I think that he doesn't need any introduction. When La République du Cameroun thought that it could have it their own way, and they caught our consortium leaders and locked them, thinking that they can lock everybody and everything will die down. At that very crucial time, when we did not believe in the southern Cameroon, there was a man that had believed. He believed much more than you could ever imagine. And that is why he took that crusade. And many of us are converts from what he believed. He saw the belief that Ambazonia can be better if we live free. And we are here tonight We are still here 5 years fighting because Mark Barata took that fight personally. He was either tweeting, he was either writing, or he was making a live show. We cannot thank you enough. So, Mr. Mark Barata, welcome to join us tonight.
Thank you. Mark. Thank you, Comrade Sikod Judson. Thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this wonderful program on ABS to show French Cameroon that we are ready to take the war onto the backyard, and that will not only be a passerby, but we shall take active measures to ensure that we plunge the forthcoming huge war, internal war, in their own section. And thanks to my other fellow comrade Jackson, who will be joining us in this panel. I don't think we need any introduction. Let us go straight into the crux of the matter to tell French Cameroon that we are alive. You can see me, my famous beard and the bar head is.
You are ready to box. Back. You are ready to box.
You can say that again.
You are ready anywhere you go. You know you can also defend yourself and ready anytime.
Of course.
Okay, let me take this opportunity to also welcome Mr. Jackson. He is my brother, he is my friend, he is an elder brother, and a very great statesman. You can never underestimate the job that has been done by this gentleman. We can't thank you enough, and he is here. Mr. Jackson, special salute to you, sir. Your microphone. Can we hear your voice, sir? Can you hear me?
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Judson. Thank you for the wonderful job you're doing. I'm Jackson, the former chair for Momo, and we've been in this thing together for how long? 6 years or more. And I welcome my brother, Comrade Mark Barata. Hey, Mark, I see you're aging with grace. Happy to see you, man. Hey, you look wonderful, man. See, we are getting gray everywhere, and the fight continues. Sikod, thank you. Let us just get into the matter. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Jackson, let us get to the matter. I want to ask you, have you been following up the developments that have been taking place in La République du Cameroon? What is of interest? Yes, what has really struck you as you watch the events unfold?
Of course, Judson. Who will not follow what is happening? You see, the whole thing is when you have your enemy, always make sure you keep that enemy close to you so that you know what is going on. And it would be malpractice if I should say that we don't know, we are not aware of what is going on in La République, because that would be total political malpractice and revolutionary malpractice at this time. Yes, what is catching my attention now is from the development of things. You know, when they initially announced that what is normally called over there as a COVID gate, that money that was meant for the pandemic was swindled. A couple of names came up, and they were high-profile persons. Atango was there, Gongo was there, and so it became. And then the Minister of Health was distancing himself. Atango was even selling test kit to the government. I mean, a minister in the system selling test kit to the government. I mean, the charade was so interesting. But the one thing that caught everybody's attention was that after the report came out, nothing was done. It is only now that when officially they invited Ngongo to come and talk to the special tribunal, the kangaroo tribunal they have, which they usually use to settle their their enemy, certain cases with their enemy. Now we notice that officially Ngongo controls part of the Cameroonian military,
That's
which
right.
is the
Part
B,
of B.
and
Yes.
the
Frank
other
Biya,
faction, which is the Frank Biya and the Biya himself, they controlled the presidential guard and the regular military. So now there are two opposing camps now in La Republique. There are two opposing camps because Ngongo have been served twice based on information that is leaked to us, and he has refused to respond. Now the refusal means that his own military have prevented the state military or the police to go and arrest Ngongo. So now the die has been cast. The battle lines are drawn. That is what Ambazonians should be looking at now. What do we do? We'll get to that.
I was told by some comrades that what is concerned, what does the fight in La République du Cameroon concern you? If we post anything, you will receive attacks. That we shouldn't be concerned. Talk just about Amba. Do you think those comrades are right?
No. That is. I started by saying that will be malpractice if somebody speaks like that, because if you have an enemy and the day you hear that the enemy is sick and he can no longer attack you, you'll be very happy, you'll be at ease, you can sleep. For somebody to say that, why are we concerned with what is happening in La Republique? That is total nonsense. And I don't think anybody in their right mind will say that. We have every reason to understand, because we don't want to be surprised by development and events in La Republique. We need to be ready when that time comes.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Mr. Mark Barata, don't you see, even before asking you that question, something just came to my mind. There was something you said at one time during your live show. You mentioned the things that Ambazonian girls can do. Ambazonian girls can cook, they can care for a man, they can do this, they can do that. And the only thing you mentioned that La République du Cameroon girls could do was only one thing, only their waist. You made me laugh so much. Do you still think there is nothing they can offer, and that is why they cannot effect change in their country?
There is nothing they can offer. They can only offer jiggy jiggy. You know what I said during those days. That is why you see what is happening in their country, and they are still very, very, very lukewarm. You know, in a country as theirs, even though their media is trying to talk about these issues, but the citizens themselves, they are still very, very lukewarm when it comes to the issue. But what will happen is that the elite class, the military, the top brass, since they are divided along the lines of Ngongo, Frank Biya, and the others, they are going to implode very, very soon. And yes, when you have an enemy as such, an enemy that has plunged our country into chaos, an enemy that continues to rape and murder our women, our parents, that continues to burn our villages, we have to exploit every opportunity that comes our way to ensure that they are distracted, to ensure that they gather their... Imagine Gongo and all of these big head people in French Cameroon. Imagine all of them fighting themselves. Imagine all of them trying to turn the attention of the military against each other. Imagine all of them siphoning the funds that is supposed to be meant to fight in Ambazonia to fight amongst themselves. Imagine that some of them will say, okay, let me just now put in place my money and everything to see, maybe to secure my own future in French Cameroon against whosoever takes over. So yes, we have to be concerned, and being concerned doesn't mean we forget what happens in Ambazonia. We have to have a multi-dimensional strategy in fighting the war, and in the way we attack French Cameroon. Our job is to encourage French Cameroon citizens against what is happening in their country. Our job is to pop up, support these actions, these people to implode among us. And they're going to do it because the truth is that Paul Biya is already a dead man. He was a dead man since 5 years ago because he is not actually in charge. At some point, Gongo was in charge. Now they're trying to pop up Frank Biya, and there are people who also on the side of the so-called first lady. And before we know it, that country is going to implode. So what we should be doing as Amazonians is we should also be asking ourselves, how can we strategize to make the best use? How can we strategize to make the best use of whatever happens in French Cameroon? It's not about folding our arms and being happy.
And do you think that we are even ready, Mr. Jackson? Do you think that we are even ready to be in that position, to be stronger by the time it happens? In fact, if it happens tomorrow, if it happens next week, Monday, are we ready? Have you ever had any meeting with the defense sector or other groups in this revolution to plan for this type of eventuality?
Yes, I will say here that I can't just say that we are not ready. We are ready, but there are still things that we need to be done.
We have to do more. Okay.
Yes, we got to do more because how are we ready? We are ready because they already started the struggle. They already started this fight. There is already that awareness. There is that consciousness of a free Ambazonia. So there is that collective understanding that we have to be away from these people. That's the foundation. Now we need to move beyond that, which is form this coalition and collaboration and be as one person, so that together, when the time comes, we'll be going there as one person. We'll be fighting as Ambazonians. We'll collectively use the brains. We'll collectively use the human resource. We'll collectively use the financial means that we have. And then it's going to make the job easy for us. So I will say that we are ready to an extent, but we just need to complete the job by doing the little touches that we need to do as people that are very conscious of what is going on.
Yes, we will be coming back to that coalition. I love that word. I will be coming back to that. But now, there was a time whereby Macron came to La République du Cameroon. According to me, he came to assure them that despite the fact that you are old and this transition is on the way, I am going to stand behind Cameroon to defend it from left, right, front, and back, meaning from the north, the insurgents in the north, Ambazonia, and so on, so that so that we don't go out. Now, let me give you something that happened within one of the elections that happened in La République du Cameroon, when they thought Frundi and others, I think it was in 2008 or 2007. What happened is that before the proclamation of the results, France had sent more Amukas and they brought in more white special soldiers. Do you think they are already so ready to handle all the fronts in Cameroon and in the southern Cameroon?
Now, if you look at the developments of things in Africa, you understand that France is speedily losing ground. And some of these things they do is window dressing, is camouflage, and it's just to create an impression. And even with the war that is going on in Ambazonian, you understand that French military have been fighting alongside the La République military. But what has it taken them to? To me, I will tell you that, let me tell you, go back to history. France has never won any good war. France has never won any war in history without assistance from the great nations. So everybody knows the weaknesses of France. And if you go to Mali, if you go to Burkina Faso, if you go to Central Africa, and if you look at what is happening in Chad, Look at what is happening in Chad. It's a mess. So France, what they're doing is for the people that still have the fear. La République from Meganga, from Nangai Boko to Kuseri, those people with those French minds, they're afraid when they see those military parades and the French intrusion, they are scared. But if you come to Ambazonians, they know that doesn't make any difference. Remember the time they took the armored cars and were running when Nopiti gave them a serious blow, they ran to Bamena and brought them back without doing anything. So we're not worried with France. France has a lot in her plate. She can't even contain her problems in the house. For us, okay, let them come as a distraction, and maybe France thinks that, first of all, if you look at the geopolitics that is going on now, what is happening with the Ukrainian war and the position of France and the position of La République with Russia, it just completely complicates things for them. It complicates things for France. It further complicates things for La République, and it makes things better for us. Thank you.
It makes things better for us. My chairman, you see that there was, as a chairman spoke before, about people stole money that was meant for COVID, or to fight against COVID, and they did other type of atrocities, and nothing was done. In fact, you know, it is difficult to be appointed by someone, and then another person comes to punish you. So at that time, everybody could do anything because Paul Biya was weak and feeble. According to reports, a lot of these issues were just being done because he was an absentee landlord. But we are getting reports that he is stronger enough now, and he has understood, he has been schooled about what was happening when he was sick and in the Swiss hospital. And that is why Ngongo is even regretting now that he didn't do something early enough. And so he has come to his senses and want to pick up Ngongo now to prepare a smooth transition for Frank Biya. And Frank Biya had never been in front of the cameras, but he was introduced. What do you really have to tell even the French Cameroonians? Because when your voice is out there, it goes very wide. You have something that can make them, spur them, or make them think? Your voice is down.
Are you? Is that for me?
Yes, for Mark, Mr. Mark Barata.
You know, you keep calling me chairman, and Jackson another chairman. You know, okay. You see,
Mr. Jackson now is for defense, so I will not call.
Listen, Paul Biya is a vegetable. There is nothing like. There is nothing like he is recovered enough to understand what is happening. The issue is that what is happening in French Cameroon is the issue of power pass power. There are different cycles of power. Ferdinand Ngongo has his own cycle of power. People who pay allegiance to him. Frank Biya, and I think if you understand, I think Ferdinand Ngongo is on the side, on the same camp with the wife of Paul Biya.
That's right.
I understand. And
that's
the
right.
son, the son is elsewhere. And the top petit class, they are also divided along these lines, you know. So it is just the issue of who wield the more power and who controls Biya more. You see, the French president of France came to Cameroon. You know, these people, they can go with any faction. They can go with any faction who is in charge. They can go with any faction who is in charge. So we don't know if they come to give their blessings to the camp of Ngongo or to Frank Biya. What we know is that they are going to do everything possible to ensure the smooth transition of Biya, of whosoever takes. So long as that person tells them that
will work for their interest.
I'm going to keep Amazonia for you.
Okay.
You understand? Okay. So I think that is the core of what is happening. Look at the screen. Look at Pobia. You think that man of 89 years old, you think he has any more faculty? Is that everything is being fed upon him? He can't even make any decision on his own. He's done. He's just there, and those people are at the top. They're just waiting for the right time to bring. My thinking is that the camp of Frank Biya is seemingly more powerful, powerful than Ferdinand Gongo, and they seem to have some Cameroonese youth who are agitated or trying to support Frank Biya. But Cameroon should not make that mistake. That was my late father used to tell me that, when Biya came, he was a young, handsome man, and Ayijo at that time was, there was a lot of dictatorship, and people were fed up with Ayijo. The economy was good. People just saw a young, handsome, nice man, and they said, "Oh, this is the angel." That is the same issue that French Cameroonians are doing.
Let me cut you there, Chairman. Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, you were saying something that the camp of Frank Biya may be looking more stronger. Now, this is an arrest warrant against Gongo, and the state is not able to implement. Now, the Minister of Defense is a personal friend to Gongo. Most of the generals have been appointed by Gongo. CERT and other prisons are controlled by him. Then the Delegate General for National Security is his personal friend. He has refused not to implement. The Minister of Defense has said, okay, he will implement. But now there was a man in prison who had a lot of money. They now claim he has brought it. Don't you think that he brought that money for them in their own camp of Gongo to finance what they plan ahead?
Yes,
and did Biya even miscalculate there? Because I think he should have made a cabinet reshufflement and take off those people before picking Gongo. Don't you think there was a miscalculation there?
Biya cannot even make a cabinet reshufflement. Cabinet reshufflement is being made by then now Ferdinand Gongo and those around him. You see, Sikod, the camp of Frank Biya, and the fact that they even went to the extent of issuing an arrest warrant, it means, remember that when it comes to any state now, when a state takes a position like that, just bear with me that they can implement it. They have a means of implementation. No state will love to look like a baby. They might be giving Ferdinand Gongo, enough reason. They might allow him to have enough evidence to say you violated this, that, or you have done this, or you act upon this. It may be a trap to see the next step, to see those who are loyal to Ferdinand Gongo, so that the camp of Frank could easily weed out all these loyal people. So take note that it also boils down to loyalty. The fact that the camp of Frank Biya took this drastic step of trying to issue an arrest warrant for Gongo, it means that that's something they can do. Again, for us Ambazonians, what do we want? I want Ferdinand Gongo to refuse. We want open warfare, so that our boys, our heroes, our fighters, our people on the ground in Ambazonia, we have some breathing space. And breathing space means we have to start thinking of strategic actions, to do in order to make good use of whatever is happening in Amazonia. I think Comrade Chris Anu in one live show, one statement also said this. if we do not make good use of this opportunity, then what are we here for? What this opportunity for us to make good use? Of course, we cannot come on social media and talk about our strategies of what we can do. But again, leadership, Ambazonian leadership, Ambazonian activists and everyone, we should come on board in a collaborative way to pick out all those key talking points, key actions, what we can do in case something happens in Cameroon. Because trust me, any action in Cameroon has a direct impact relationship with what happens in Amazonia. That's what people don't know. People say, no, it's La Republic. You talk about issue of La Republic, they tell you La Republic. No. Everything that happens in the house of your enemy in one way or the other has a direct relationship with what happens in Amazonia. The only thing is that how do we capture that event to translate it into our own benefit? I think that's why we are here, to talk about this thing, to educate our people.
Thank you very much. And maybe Mr. Jackson may want to add something to what you just said, and then to go further to tell us that why would we not allow them start their fight and get scattered so that we concentrate on Ambazonia? Buy more guns, buy more groundnut, everything, and just prepare. While we are hitting them, we are preparing. Why did I ask that? Because if I heard the Secretary Chris or President Chris last week, he said his most important strategy is that he's moving the war to La Republique to Cameroon. But I think to respectfully disagree that we rather prepare more and wait to take advantage. What do you think of that? Your voice is out, Chairman Jackson.
See, anything that we can do to better prepare ourselves is good. But let me just retrogress a little bit to say that in the arena of speculations, because I see you guys are struggling to situate which camp is doing what in La Republique, but the most important question we should be asking ourselves is why now? Because Ngongo has been in power for 11 years. That's the most long-serving Secretary General. Atangana Mebera was locked up. Noni was locked up. Titus Israel was locked up. There's another one. There were 4 of them. So Ngongo is the only person that has been there for 11 years and is following and almost following the same direction. But the thing is this. If you look at when Macron came to Cameroon, Frank Biya his posters were everywhere, and he was officially presented to Macron. Now, with the situation of the old man and with Ngongo consolidating power, because people are asking the question, the COVID gate was something that was, I think it's more than a year or getting to 2 years since the results came out. Who stole what? Why now? Why now? The camps are already they're realizing that if Ngongo is not taken care of and he's consolidating powers, as you can see today, then they're in for a loose battle. That's why you see what is happening now. But let's go back to the assumptions. You say we should concentrate here and prepare for an implosion. Okay, you may be right, but the thing is this: anything we can do to disintegrate, anything we can do to submerge, anything we can do to downgrade the strength of our enemy is going to be helpful. Because rather than waiting before they come and meet you in your house, you have to do preempt. You have to be preemptive. And being preemptive means that you have to do a number of things after doing your reconnaissance, a number of things to destabilize so that they might not even have the opportunity to come to your house to meet you. So it is something that nobody prepared for it. We have to look our options with the means that we have and with the protection we should give to the civilians and with the need of the time so that we know how we should face them. But one thing is obvious. One thing is obvious. When there is an implosion, we should be better ready for that implosion, because that might migrate to us and cause more chaos. If we continue to move the way we are moving things around Ambazonia today, with so many groups and so many leaders, then we might be thinking that they have two factions while we have 1,001 factions also. And then it's not going to better our own situation. So it is time that is what they just say, make hay while sun shines. This is the time for us to get ready and continue to do the things that Ambazonians are doing, so that when the time comes, they'll be able to shoot straight to the moon.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah. Now, let me get back to before asking some specific questions to you, Chairman Jackson. Let me ask Mr. Mark Barata. We are all stakeholders to this fight, to this liberation. Why is it that a lot of our comrades behave like rivals and competitors rather than compatriots that are fighting for the same thing? Do you have a special message for Ambazonians that are in all the other factions and what we should do at a crucial time like this?
Okay, thank you. Is it for me or for Mark?
Well, it was for Mark, but as you started, you can continue. He will take the next.
Okay, sorry, Mark. I'll give you back your time. So I wonder if the many years of oppression has have some kind of traumatic effect on our brains, because there is no logical explanation for the splinters that we have in Ambazonia. There is no good reason. Anybody who came to make sure that we are liberated should be doing what they are doing. There is one thing I should say here. If there has been any time for our leaders to come together, the time is now. It's not even tomorrow. The time was even yesterday. We got to do that.
Yes, and that is where Mr. Barata, do you think that we Ambazonians in the diaspora have failed people like Honorable Weber, who left all the big salaries, left the comfort, the John Akoro, Mr. Bobga, and some of them that are now doing mega jobs. Some of those who left from Ground Zero are now working like care workers. Some are even in Nigeria, at Metro Anda, and all of them are crying the type of jobs they do. But their highest cry is because of the division that we have than the type of things they do. Have we failed them? And how can we give them hope again?
Comrade Sikod Judson.
Sir.
I know the diaspora involve all these people you have mentioned. They are also part and parcel of the diaspora, and most of them also have chosen sides. You know, most of them also are part and parcel of other factions. You know, and
but some have been victimized until they can't have their voices again.
Whether they are in Nigeria or Ghana or USA or Belgium or UK, they have chosen sides. and some of them have refused deliberately to bring others together. And they have decided to want to create their own thing and do their own thing. You know, you see, that is why I'm one of the prominent supporters of what the fighters on the ground are attempting to do. Because I tweeted about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I asked some questions, and I said, at what point in time shall we in the diaspora come together? Means, what will be those striking things that will say, I will say, oh, I'm tired. You see, it is time. What will be that thing? What will be that thing that will strike Amazonians in the diaspora to say, oh boy, we don't do no, it's not enough. It's time for us to keep aside all our big quotes, our big talk, and say this is for this. But I as of today, the truth is I am not seeing that, because everyone is still standing on their own side. I am correct. I am this. I am the right one. I am this. People are giving preconditions. I said at one point is that for us, if we look at the history, the way we've come, many people have been hurt. Some people have been hurt so badly. And as humans, we receive these betrayers or sabotage in a very different way. You know, some people have had their reputation battered. Some people have had their families and their friends attacked, and even their own. So a lot of people have gone through a lot. But we must look at the general good. Okay, some people remember someone said, even Cristiano, they were attacking Cristiano, that why would Cristiano bring Mark Barretta on ABS or to talk when Mark Barretta also said if they put Paul Biya and Mr. Cristiano, I'm going to put a gun and Mr. Cristiano. Of course, I did say those things, but it wasn't. There's no way I can choose I can choose Biya against any Amazonian. That was, as I said, the heat of the moment. Maybe I was trying to push an agenda to force these people to do what they are supposed to do. You see, so we must understand that we must put the love of Amazonia first. Forget about our own self, and sometimes we keep aside our own certain hard principles. Let us come together and work for our people. Trust me, all of you, all of us are talking with people on the ground. They are very excited when they see us like this, coming together and talking on things that matter. Not calling names and shouting, this has stolen, this has doing, this is that. They are tired. Sincerely, they are tired. They are tired, and the La Republic is just there, waiting at the opportunity when our people have tired, they say, okay, they cannot just grab our people because they are tired. And we can't blame our people, because with any liberation struggle, time plays sometimes can play negatively. But if we are wise enough, we are going to sail. We are going to sail through. That is why I'm saying that for us to come together and work together in the diaspora, we must first of all learn to forgive. Forgive. There's no way we can forget. There's no way Cristiano can ever forget that I said what I said. Or you understand? But you will understand the circumstances, the other good things that I have done in the revolution. So we must look at the good things that. Let's start to pick out the positives of every activist, of every leader. Those positives, and we'll put them together and see. Let's work on the positives. So let's forgive ourselves.
Thank you very much. I had to give you more time to discuss this because they are very important issues. I couldn't cut you. I think you are right on point, and even our audience are telling us you are right on point. And so, I always call you chairman because you were my chairman for Momo, even though you have had the promotion. You are the defense strategist currently, and you campaigned vigorously for Mr. Chris Ano. What is it you saw in Mr. Chris Ano that is different from the other leaders that you had to be his campaign manager? And with this defense post, is it a compensation for the great job you did for him to win? And finally, he campaigned on that canopy of unity and collaboration and changing the dynamics on the ground. How much is he succeeding in what he had to do? Are you firmly behind to make sure it works?
Okay, thanks. Correction. I'm not in a defense position. I'm not. They have a defense chair and an assistant defense. So I am not. So I have another position that I will not be. I will not be able to talk about it now. But I'm not in defense per se. Before I answer the point, so I did not take position because I was campaign manager, and I want that nobody should come into this revolution to look for position. We should come into the revolution to look for the liberation of Ambazonia. That is very important. That is what we need. That's what everybody needs. Mark Barata has been very passionate in some of the things he does, not because he wants position. No, he has been consistent on these things. But let me just address something that came up earlier. This Ground Zero command that Comrade Mad made mention of. All of us
sir, we will come to Ground Zero command. We will come there as a main topic. Let us talk about this unity so that we don't go up and down.
Okay, unity so now. On that unity issue,
collaboration and so on.
Yes, on this thing, when Honorable Weaver finally got to UK, it was a sigh of relief to some of us and everybody, and it was a sign of hope for the future. Unfortunately, he withdrawn. He was withdrawn for a long time. And then when he came up, he was preaching a different gospel that could have further divided us. My point is this. We have people that we thought were coming to rescue this revolution. Until today, I still think that Honorable Weber has a place, a very important place in this revolution. He just needs to sit back and listen to the cry of people and understand the direction in which we are going. First of all, before Honorable Weber came to the diaspora, there was already people in the diaspora and there was already a certain direction they were doing. And what I would have thought is that he could come, if you want to really change the direction of things, get into it, take a responsibility, post of responsibility and leadership, and then tell people how you want things to be done, which is something that he did not do.
Sir, with much respect, how much are you now? Mr. Chris and Mr. Honorable Weber had chosen his side, and Mr. Chris Ano campaigned on one camp or two different fronts that we have to change the dynamics mix on the ground, and number two, work in cohesion and collaboration, and that he can achieve that, and that he has differences in where he was because they were not allowing him to bring other people to on the same text. What
I'm getting there.
Are you really working hard to make sure that he succeeds on this mission? Should we have some hope?
Yes, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. If you'll just allow me expansion. I was bringing this because I don't want tomorrow there should be another conference somewhere and people are flogging to it just to cause another distraction, because that is what has been happening to us. That's why I brought that up. Now, let's go to Chris Ano. When Chris Ano declared his intention to run, the question we asked him was, are you ready to bring everybody together or the most people together? He said yes. We asked him, how do you intend to do that? He said he's going to meet, he's going to make the calls himself. He's not going to wait for somebody to make those calls. So that was from there, we said, okay, we have struggled, we have been talking. We started with Sako, we came to Marianta, and here we are. If you are not ready to do these things, then forget it. He promised to do that. And we started during the campaign. You saw how we held meetings with some with the SCAPAC. We held meetings with other groups that we don't want to mention their name here. Of course, SCAPAC, because you were personally there. So he has personally made phone calls to individuals, and he's waiting, and he's going to make a second round of calls so that we can find a common platform. And this revolution needs that common platform to sit on it so that we can prosecute this liberation struggle. And we understand that Chris Anu was the government spokesperson for other leaders. I'm not here to be campaigning for him again because campaigns are over. But I just want to bring this clarification that when you are the government spokesperson to any regime or to any leader, you go out there to pronounce the positions of that government. You don't go there to say your own personal opinion. So most of the things that people are holding Chris accountable for today are the things that he was asked to go out there as the government spokesperson. That it is not rocket science. But now he found out that some of the things that he tried to bring in and people were not listening, he wants to be the leader now to do them himself. That's why there's a change in direction and approach in the things that they want to do now. Let everybody sit back and give him the opportunity, and give everybody the opportunity until he proves that he can do it. But just castigating and getting ourselves in this vicious cycle of blaming is not going to help.
Okay, thank you very much. Comrade Mark, there is this comment I have read a lot of times on Facebook and in other WhatsApp forums, whereby many comrades from the IGK are saying that Mr. Siseko had given Mr. Chris Ando one condition: just apologize for the things you have said against them, that he was compromised, he was working with La République du Cameroon, and so on, and then everything will come back normal, without which it cannot. Are those words from Mr. Siseko Ayoktabe, are they from Yerima? Is that the way we should go, or is that the way we should start it?
You see, I don't know if those are the words from Siseko Ayok Tabe, because I don't communicate with him. I don't even know if he communicates. If those are the words from the IGK, you see, sometimes you must not apologize and come and say, I said this, I lied, I apologize. Sometimes you will not say it ABC, but through your actions, through the push and the acts that you are doing, one could say you are genuinely sorry for that. Yes, those I think the one, those were verbative, but that will come in due time, and that is for Comrade Chris Anu to have what we call self-reflection, to see what I said, was it government, the IG's position? Did I also agree with that IG position? What I have come to learn now, does it also tie with what I believe now? Because I think what most of the information that they had came from the Church and Bay lawyer. What's that name again? Barrister John. So you see, so I think probably they relied more on the information they gave us. Saw him like someone who left ground zero, someone that like a father, someone who will not lie, someone who was a lawyer as a barrister, leading barrister to Sikod, but it has come to show that the man lied, collected money from other lawyers and did so. It is just a reflection, and it's not like Chris. All of us also must have our own self-reflection of what we've said, of what we've done take possible actions. And I want to say this. I love the structure that Comic Chris Anu is trying to bring. And unfortunately, I don't have my Facebook. Before I ever said, and I apologize to people that I don't believe in the concept of a government in a revolution. I wrote about this same thing. It is just the winning way, because the truth is, the way we've gone, it will be difficult to say group A dissolve, come and join me, or group B this, that. The only thing is for us to come together in that formula, have a rotational chairmanship. It's not as if you as a chairman, you are deciding. No, you are just doing what the council of all the groups have decided, that this is how we are going to respond to the Republic. And when Thibaut Nagy, remember, Thibaut Nagy said last time that the Independence Day celebration of Ambazonia was a great opportunity for Ambazonians for the various leadership to come with a general statement. So imagine that something happens in French Cameroon, something happens the way we will respond. We have one response, not different response or different strategies. That is how it is going to happen. You keep, so I love very much the concept and the structure that Comrade Chris is trying to say, because he called me and we tried to discuss and told me the idea, and basically I agree with everything. There's nothing that I will say I disagree, because that is a winning formula. But we have to be conscious.
If I got you right, was the concept of the rotatory revolutionary council?
Not about the core concept of having groups to come together. You can call it anything, whether it's a council, okay, or what. There's the concept of bringing all the groups that are fighting for Amazonian independence together, and then have, maybe we say for the next six months, the egg of C. Whosoever sits in the council of the egg of C in the council, the egg of C is the, which means if there is any policy issue, we are seeing that. Let's say, for example, Ayabacho is a member of that council, and for the next 6 months, Ayabacho is in charge of the revolution, which means not as if he decides. Whatever the decision that the council decides, he is the front person who comes up. You know, he's the one who signs all the paperwork and all those things. But we have also various departments that are in charge of maybe communication, diplomacy, and so. But he is a figure and head to coordinate these things. After 6 months, we say the agency's own is over. Now is the time of, for example, staff. Then Mark Barretta, if I'm the chairman now, oh yeah, I am back again. And then so just that philosophy, that structure. In that way, you see that there won't be any reason for us to fight. Everyone, there will be accountability in terms of also finance. And trust me, our boys will have enough. There will be enough funds. We will have, Amazonians, we are rich. The truth is that we are in diaspora. Even with the cost of living, at least we will eat 3 times a day. And the way the Europe and Americans have made their system,
thank you, Chairman Mark. Let me give this number to some of the people that may want to call to contribute. And if the technician is there, you can put this number on the line. It's only for WhatsApp. Plus 237 is La Republic number. Plus 237 68 20 229. I think the technician should put this up. Let me just give it 6820162229. And so, Chairman Jackson, there is following up.
If you just bear with me to round up on
what
this, I communicated with you.
Yeah, because you'll be leaving soon. That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Round up what I'm doing. I want to just plead with Ambazonians. You know, we should not prop up. We should not prop up our various leaders in the group. They are. We should be able to make them to understand that they are working for Amba. Zonians. And I want to also tell if Chris Anu is watching, the idea of him trying to call these people, bring them together, he shouldn't be discouraged. He should try. And I understand people are saying he was part and parcel of the division in the first place, but we must keep those history behind. You know, if someone is trying to change, give the person the chance and the opportunity to change, and let's really come together, get this thing in place so that we can have a big win. If we collaborate, the only thing which is delaying this revolution is our collaboration in the diaspora. Trust me. If we do that, and we do that, we are winning this war. We win the next 1 year. Cameroon and back. Thank you, Comrade Sikod, and thank you, Comrade Jackson. Thank you, all Ambassadors for watching on the ground zero. I hope that we can do this more and more, bringing different panelists on so we can talk things. Big fat win for the glory of Ambazonia.
Thank you very much, Chairman Mark. I am very, very happy that you came up here. I love your energy. I love your consistency. You have always been here. Even when you felt frustrated at one time, you also shouted, it is human, and then you came back to say, no, there is much more to be done to work together than fighting for or fighting one another. And things are balanced. Thank you, because you are the king of Twitter. You are followed. You are the most followed. Thank you. And your energy is still the same. So God bless you for all what you do. And I give you a special salute. Ambazonia will always have your name in the history books.
Aluta continua.
Yes. We'll continue with Mr. Jackson. Before Mr. Jackson comes up, let me pick Mr. Silas Amor of the chairman for SCAF that has been doing a wonderful job for Ambazonia, trying to build up this unity. And he works also with the SCNC. So, Comrade Silas, welcome. Comrade Silas, can you put your receiver down? Keep your receiver down so that you concentrate with the call.
Yes, I've done that already.
Okay, we are listening. Ambazonians are listening to you.
Thank you, Comrade Sikod, and I want to give special salute to our fighting forces on the ground. I want to give special salute to all Ambazonians on ground zero. I want to thank our civilians for being the soldiers of the revolution. My greetings to go to Comrade Jackson and Comrade Mark Barretta. I want to thank them for being advocates for collaboration in our struggle. It's a project, a very hectic project that they have embarked on, and I want to tell them that they have my support, and we have to push it together.
Thank you.
No one in Ambazonia will win this struggle.
Amen.
No one person will do it. No one group will do it. It will be the collective efforts of every Ambazonian. Whether that Ambazonian finds himself within a particular revolutionary liberation movement or not, he has something to do. And I want to tell every Ambazonian that it is not group. It is not group. No, it is whatever they want to call that will liberate Ambazonia. Every Ambazonian has to put what he has to the best of his abilities so that all of us can fight for a free country. If we think, it's like a reminder that if we think that we will just sit aside and watch others to get it for us, it will be a very difficult task. A task that if everyone had put his hands together to see that we push it, we would do it as more faster and easier. So I am thanking you And I want to tell Ambazonians that they should not get weary, because we are struggling. That we have to struggle like Ambazonians to see that we talk to each other.
Okay.
Reconciliation.
Reconciliation
is the only way out of this.
That's
we
right.
cannot continue to feel like we are enemies to each other forever.
Okay.
I know so well that a lot of people have been hurt in this struggle. People have had insults. People have had accusations. People have been accused, wrongly accused, and some people have been threatened. Some people have had threats from others, like Look, I just want to let Amazonians know that.
To all those that are calling, please just be patient. I'm giving a little bit more time for the chairman to give a message, because it works alongside with what we are trying to build here today. I hope Comrade Jackson is there. You're listening to him.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. People have been threatened in this struggle. People have been insulted, and I want to let Amazonians know that even just today, about some 5 hours ago, I got a call from a comrade, and the comrade in the 7 minutes that comrade called me, he was raining insults on me. He insulted me and only insulted me and only insulted me. But at the end of the day, I asked him, where is this anger coming from? But just thought that maybe he may be frustrated at what is going on in the struggle, and maybe he is wrongly informed, and he sees me to be an enemy of the struggle. That's just what I have considered, and I have already forgiven the person. So Amazonians should know that a lot of people have been hurt. People have left their families back home. People have left their activities, All
right. Chairman, you will be coming up again next week on our slot on Friday. You will have a full portion, and I will be running behind you, because it was CAF that presided over the meeting between Pastor Seko and Mr. Sapo that did not go through, and finally the IG got divided. And you in SCAF did not also tell Ambazonians exactly what transpired there. So I will wish that you fix it, work with him, collaborate to make sure it works, so that we also know those who do not give him that collaboration. So Chairman Jackson too should be giving you greetings.
Okay,
let us go.
Let me just finish. Let me finish, please. Let me just finish it. Give me 30 seconds. So what I want to tell Ambazonians is that reconciliation. That is the only way out. We are brothers of the same family, and it is a must that we must reconcile so that we can succeed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman. This comrade I've been calling repeatedly. This is Judson. You are live on ABS TV. Good evening. Hello, comrade. Can you put your receiver down so that I can hear you? You are calling from Ground Zero. What is the name?
Yes. No, the name is not.
Okay, Ground Zero. Okay, I thought you had a code name. Yes.
No, I don't want to give any code name.
All right. Can you? Okay. Let us get your point. You are here live. Jack, the chairman is listening to you, and will be giving any response if need be.
I want to give salute to Mark Baraka, Chairman Jackson, and to all the chairs in the house, and to really say I am totally in support of all what you have said there, and this collaboration you are preaching is one I think maybe us here on the Ground Zero we are indeed very, very, very happy to hear that.
Thank you.
We believe that with this move, if our comrade Chris Anum did all what he's doing to make sure all this faction come together, I think we will really definitely win. I think maybe I join my boss with that of Mark Barata, and I support all what he has said about the council issues. And I really want to say, if we all put the forces together and keep our differences behind,
Thank you.
We'll do great things.
All right.
Indeed, do great things.
Thank you very much, comrade. Thank you. Stay safe in Ground Zero, and God bless you. It is a war we must win.
No, for sure.
Thank you for joining. And okay, Chairman, you heard his contribution. And before another caller comes in, there is this other factor that a lot of people in the IG care say that they are the legitimate IG because they have Siseko. People from your faction say that they are the legitimate IG because they have Mr. Elvis Cometa. And then many of the people in AGOFC say that let the IGs, the original IGs, first of all, unite or collaborate, and then they can talk to them as other frontline leaders, and they will listen to them. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, that is just pure nonsense because we don't look at our personal egos. We look at what is at stake. What is at stake is winning the revolution, not winning the battles. And the battles that we're fighting among ourselves are not going to win the revolution. And first of all, and let me finish.
Yeah,
the Restoration Council in the structures of the IG, that is the legislative organ that is in charge in the laws and the running of.
1 minute, let me pick this other call. Just listen to this other call. You come back to your question, sir. Yes. Greetings, comrade.
Hello, senior comrade Sikod Johnson.
Yes, sir.
I want to appreciate you for coming on ABS. And
thank you.
I didn't buy the view of you coming on ABS, but in another perspective, you're trying to see how things can work.
That's
I understand that.
Thank you, sir.
But, I would like to put this question to Chairman Jackson because he is a defense chief for a fraction of this Amazonian struggle. It is a fraction. We should not confuse things because this is a mistake Amazonians are making. Every group in this Amazonia is a fraction. AGC, the fraction of Comrade Yerima, the fraction of Iya Marenda, we are all fractions. And I listened to you keenly when you put forth a question that you had on your findings that Comrade Chris Anu he's asking every other faction in this revolution to dissolve or change their appellation so that his fraction will be the only fraction that will be known as the IG. Is that what we are looking for? Then next, their fraction says they can only support fighters on ground zero if they pay allegiance to them. Is this the collaboration we are talking of? Is this the collaboration Chris Anu was preaching about?
Okay.
My comrade, let's not deceive ourselves because there is a lot of hidden agenda.
Okay, you already have about 3 questions in that one question. Please let us hear to Chairman. I think you should have your mind on the ground. I see you speaking with some anger, but you can calm down and listen. You can listen direct on the TV for his response. Thank you for that contribution.
All right,
Chairman.
Comrade, there are a lot of things that I was supposed to address when you continue to take
before this one. Yes. So you can start from where you ended.
Now I'll quickly answer this before, now I'll end with this. So there was an issue that came up. Secretary Chris or Comrade Chris, his issue, because you're talking about the legitimacy of the IG faction, IG care. First, Secretary Chris said, with all of us, we said Siseko with the legitimate and the face of our revolution. But the moment when he was picked up, the moment when he was picked up and locked up in the dungeons of the Koningui, now he was given access to talk. Now he was trying to give instructions and rule the revolution from the dungeons of our enemy. Secretary Chris said he is still our leader, but at this point, now that he's incarcerated in the dungeons of the La Republic, he cannot be ruling from the jail, from the prisons of our enemy, because they own the network, they own the cell, they own everything. They can, and from today, you know that they gave Siseko the phone to talk from prison so that we can be divided. These guys are masters at what they were doing. So Secretary Chris never said Ayuk is not the president or the president of the IG. But at the moment when he was in jail, he could not be giving orders. And for that reason, he created another government from jail. That's where the problem came. We still recognize him as the face of this revolution because of the things that he has done. Don't get me wrong on that, and don't get anybody wrong on that.
I will come back. We'll come back. No, please, we'll come back to that second question. Let us add this one because he has been calling regularly.
No,
yeah.
Sikod,
okay. Continue while he speaks.
No.
Yes,
no.
Continue.
No. Yes. So the issue of dissolving other factions, Secretary Chris has never said that they should dissolve any faction. He is the one that is preaching for the other factions to come together and they form this body. So I'm talking to the comrade that called to make allegations and information that Secretary Chris has said they should dissolve other factions in the group. But what Secretary Chris has said is that when the Restoration Council organized elections and Sako refused to go, organized election and Marianta refused to go, then and the Restoration Council came up with elections that brought us to where we are today. That is what is supposed to prevail. But collaborating with Ayabacho, Akwanga, Bo Herbert that we love so much, you know, the command of his voice when it's on TV, John Baakuru, and the rest of the other leaders that are out there. It's a legitimate call for us to be together. And that is what we should be looking at. And this issue of Ground Zero Command, Secretary Chris has said that Ground Zero should come together and have their command. It is not a problem. But Ground Zero must have diaspora leadership to link with. Yeah. Secretary Chris did not say he must be that leader. He said Ground Zero alone cannot survive because the energy that goes to Ground Zero comes from the diaspora. And this can explain for itself. Look at what is happening now. There's so much chaos. There's so much quietness on the ground. The energy that is out here is so little, and that energy is not felt on Ground Zero. Secretary Chris has not said he must be the leader of Ground Zero, but he said Ground Zero Command should be there. But that Ground Zero Command should be working with a diaspora command, which is very clear.
That point simple. It is noted. It is noted. Comrade, you were on the line. We were listening to Chairman here. Can you now give your contribution?
Yeah, thank you so much. It is the call from Ground Zero, Victoria. I want to applaud you all. Secretary Chris is the #1 person who speak, and the La Republic, the bow. That one is very obvious. But I want just to say something because we know that he has come in. At least we are expecting a change. Everybody, even the Republic, is shaking now. But my worry here is he has been on chair for almost getting to 3 weeks, and we have not seen any fundraising, and we keep doubting how he is going to hit because I remember last week Friday you asked him how long from now can we be expecting something. You said up to 100 days, as soon as possible, not in 2 weeks time. But we have not seen any fundraising here. How is he going to succeed this without any fund? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chairman, you heard him?
That's a very good question. Yeah, and I just want to use this opportunity to tell Ambazonians that you know that Secretary Chris' wife was sick during the campaign, and after the campaign, unfortunately, he lost her, and we lost her. So Secretary Chris is still going through the bereavement process. You all know that Secretary Chris, even with the wife in the mortuary, because of the cries that were coming from Ground 1, he had to venture together with Dr. Chenjo Fidelis of the HHS, went to see the wonderful and terrible situation that was happening in the refugee camps. He went there and he is back. He saw it for himself and he reassured them that we're going to be doing the things we're doing to alleviate the situation. So they went there. Now, the fundraising is going to come. Secretary Chris does not want to do the piecemeal fundraising that were happening in the past. We want to do a fundraising that by the time we finish with what is happening with the coalitions, what is happening with the Ground Zero Command, we put the things that they're supposed to have. There's going to be a wonderful and a massive fundraising in the days or in the weeks ahead. They're already planning for it, but I understand and I appreciate the question because everybody is questioning about how is he going to do this. But again, there are going to be alternative fundraisings and financing that is being done, and things will be okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And a lot of comrades are calling from Ground Zero, so the network is really messing up with their calls too. And why did that comrade think that these two should be the most important? I asked a lot of questions. Why do they think so? And I was told that the most followed is this group you lead. Let me come back. Yes, Ground Zero is calling. Ground Zero is on fire, and this is ABS TV. Can you make your point and direct to the point, please?
Yeah, I really need to appreciate Comrade Mark. I think one thing I've learned from Comrade Mark is let's forgive one another.
Forgiveness. Okay.
Give Sako will not give somebody boya. Ayaba will not give boya. Mbo will not give boya. Boya will be collective effort. There is no single leader who will give boya. It beats me so badly when I see people preaching about a leader as if he's king. If any person should give up boya, it should be Sisiko, who is already close to boya. It should be Sisiko. Not individual diaspora pushing for individuals as self-interest and greed. I think we should focus on building. Secretary Chris, besides working on getting money, should focus on bringing leaders together as he promised. That should be urgent because we need to see Comrade Bonga back in the revolution. We need to see
that one is noted.
We need to see. Yeah, we need to see Honorable Wiba brought back to the revolution. So this Comrade man has broken my heart. I felt a cry. Let's forgive.
I'm happy you guys on Ground Zero were happy with his answers. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. So, Chairman, as I was saying, they thought that if these two are first of all together, they will become very stronger. They will begin to concentrate to do the things to work, and most of the rivalry is within that cycle. And those that really have the revolution at heart are in this cycle of people. So coming together, putting Siseko as the face of the revolution and the leadership between Yerima and Chris Ano as two vice presidents would be the best way for the revolution, according to that comrade. So I don't know what you think about that. And each of them heading defense or diplomacy or resource mobilization and so on. So I don't know what you think about that.
No, comrade, the thing is this. Secretary Chris is open for us to go and sit And when the leaders go and sit, they will agree in that small house. And when they finish, they agree, they'll come out with a communique to Ambazonian. That is what he expects to happen. We can't sit here and determine how these leaders will do things. But one thing is clear. They need to come together. It's a must. Secretary has put a bed on it. They must. He has to. If they don't come to him, he's going to them. And you personally, Sikod, you are part of it. We have spoken to you at length. We have given you personal assignments to talk to some individuals, and that is what is going to happen. If you listen to the cries of people from Ground Zero, all they are talking about the collaboration.
Yes, and that's why I am on ABS. I'm not as a member of the IG, but I think I can serve better if we all come together. That is when I can really serve. But I'm here because those who will deny collaboration, those who will refuse the voice of the people, those who will refuse the voice of Tibor Nagy, I would personally be coming against them. Even if it is Pastor Chris, I will be coming to expose him if he is failing on that. Thank you very much for giving that very brilliant answer. So, comrade, you were on standby. Can you make your contribution now? Thank you for the patience. We are soon rounding up. Go on, sir. The comrade on the line.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Go direct to the point. We can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm calling from Mega. I'm glad to hear and to see our panelists discuss and talk about unity.
Thank you.
I'm also glad to hear Mark Barata and to see him once again. He is very positive today. I'm very positive, and I believe that the quest for unity is certain.
Thank you.
I want to also thank the panelist, the person on the set now.
Yes. Chairman Jackson.
Chairman Jackson, thank you. I want to appreciate him. He has been there from the time of Chris' campaign up till now. We are happy, even with his response. To be involved and to support someone doesn't mean you are looking for position, but it is because you know what you are fighting for. And when you know what you are fighting for, you can also know the kind of person to fall back, fall behind.
Thank you.
What I want to also say about communication is that many people don't understand that communication is only successful when communication from the source to receiver is understood. Many people have misunderstood Chris Ano when he comes up to say many things. That is why you will hear someone who will come up and talk about him dissolving a group, which he didn't say that. What I understood he said is that we cannot, as a nation, because we are a nation, we cannot, as a nation, be talking about 4 edges, and that is categorically clear. As a nation, we cannot be talking about 4 edges. So he said that.
Okay, can you land, sir, so that we can? Yes.
Sorry.
Can you land, because we are really out of time?
Yes, I'm saying that he said for we to actually move forward, he is not saying that the IGs should dissolve, but he is suggesting that they should give a name to their groups so that things can move better. Even if we want to sit on the dialogue table with La Republic and this other group coming in, it should not be like 4 IGs coming on dialogue table with La Republic. It should be the IG, which is one, now with different other groups. That is what he said. And I think that is where many people...
Okay, thank you very much for your contribution. Your opinion counts, sir.
You're welcome. God bless
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And before we end, Chairman, back to Momo, our base, and you are the chairman. That's why you are already the chairman for life. Something has to be done so that your own backyard gets some energy. And the general problem we have in Ambazonia is guns. I want to really say it. We have only in Batibo alone, we have about 400 boys that need guns to fight. I don't want to say the number that are there, those who hold guns. I don't want to say the number that are in Gi that hold guns, but I know that we have more than 1,300 boys all over the whole Momo that want guns. And this happens in many other places apart from maybe Mezam and we and other areas. So what can you do that we can start giving materials in the hands of those who want to fight and forget about those that are feeling already tired and playing politics with the guns they already have? Let's energize. What are you to advise the new president of IT to do?
No, what I would say is that there has been a lot of material in Momo and there's still material there, but the problem that is happening there is the willingness and ability for those guys to do what they're supposed to do. And I will not go further than that. But there is a in a revolutionary situation like this, it's logistical issues are never enough. The more the better. So it goes all across Amazonia. And that is the more reason why some of us are crying for collaboration, so that we bring in the human resource and the financial resources together. And when we do those things, as Comrade Matt said here, Ambazonians are very rich. We are going to put the right equipments into the hands of the right people. So the problems that we're having in Momo, they are spread all over Ambazonia, except a few places that like the Unity Warriors, some other spotted places, Boyo and stuff like that. So, but let's not forget, Momo pioneered this revolution from the beginning. That was the epic center of this revolution. Because our memory span is so small, Ambazonians, we just we live within the moment and forget where we are coming from. Momo has done its fair share and fair responsibility in this war, in this revolution. But it does not mean that they should stop. They're still going to continue. But now, anything that any RGA or country can provide that can help us start this revolution up will be good. But Secretary Chris is looking at changing this. And the ANSC is working at a new strategy where we should be able to use what we have with what is going to come in and create a meaningful impact. So I'm not going to elaborate on that. That's just how I can say it. Because if we sit here, we keep singing this RJ Nguti is not fighting, this is not going to take us anywhere.
Can you just add it with your closing remarks for tonight, sir?
My closing remark here is that I am personally begging, I am on my knees to every single Ambazonian. I don't care where you are, that look at the suffering back home, look at your people back home. How long are they going to be in this chaos? And is it because we are comfortable out here that you think that you don't care what happens with the suffering back home? Is there a way that we can come together and end this thing quickly or sooner than later? Because that is the only thing that is going to help these poor people back home. It's going to shorten the length of this revolution. We are at a point where we cannot go back. And if we continue to dance the same dance, this Bafia dance, then maybe we might go back in a more precarious situation than we started. And God forbid, if we ever lose this revolutionary struggle, we are going to forever remain slaves in that country. I don't know if anybody is thinking about this. I don't care which chair you are sitting on. I beg and I pray that come down from that chair. Come and sit down on the floor with Ambazonians. I don't care if you are a leader of which faction. I'm asking them, the Bohebet, the Mbajonakoro, the Yerimas, the Akwangas, please, if we really think that we are here to serve our people and to help end this thing, the moment was yesterday for us to come together. As a matter of fact, we have become a laughing stock. How does it sound in the ears of any Ambazonian when the international diplomats, they say, come together, you are in factions. La République is taking advantage of us. They say they don't know who to talk to. They went to Canada. They choose who to talk to because we're so many of us. There are some people that just want to be there so that when La République wants somebody to talk to, they'll say, hey, I'm here. I want to go there. This is very, very shameful. We got to stop this. Anybody that is listening to my voice, if you don't think that we can come together now, when do you think we shall come together? The time is now. And I beg everybody, and I appreciate everybody that's listening, that go sleep, get into your inner conscience, and know that we should help whoever, like what Secretary Chris is doing, whoever, if it comes from any other leader, let's come together. Let's even go and listen to each other. By the time we listen, we'll be able to come to a conclusion, and a good conclusion that is going to better each and every one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. It's a pleasure to have been here with you. And it was my pleasure to have received Mr. Mark Barata, and I'm happy the viewers are happy with with the questions you answered. God bless you for everything you are doing. And as we said before, the doomsday is near, and there is havoc looming all around La République du Cameroon. They are trying their best towards their last days of their regime. They tried to destroy the consortium that we built because we asked for change and some reforms. After they banned and struggled to catch our leaders, they thought it was going to finish. It didn't work. They went on with the bilingualism commission. They failed. They didn't end there. They went again to arresting the Naira 10. They thought they had hammered. They thought we are finished. They thought there is nothing left again. We re-strategized. And we were still there. Then they went further to call for a national dialogue, maybe a monologue. Nothing came out of Yaoundé. It was a failure. They continued to deceive themselves that it was a success. Of course, it wasn't. And that is why they went again to create what they call a special status. Special status, it is a zero. In fact, including the House of Chiefs or the regional councils, it ended the day they pronounced it. What about the DDR Center? They brought boys that had never been fighters to deceive the people and thought they could succeed. No way. What about the reconstruction they were trying to say? They said they had won the war. They said it is pockets of resistance. And only today, one 3-star commissioner was killed in Taba, in Du, LGE. We are not resting. We will continue to hit them. And that is why they brought in special forces, because it was more than the bee whom they created to kill and to destroy. Special forces, there's nothing special about it. They always like to talk about special. But we are special people too. We are a chosen generation. We are the ordained generation that will end the suffering of our people. That is why they brought in the Fulanese too. They brought in mercenaries. They have brought Macron to assure them that they will stand, that France will stand by them. Of course, it will never work. We are progressing, but we are not progressing in the rate that we should be, and that is why we call for unity. That is why we call for collaboration. That is why we say we should stop fighting one another and concentrate on the big goal. Our goal is independence, and independence alone we seek. And only independence we will have, for our revolution is going to catch steam again, and we are going to win them. And we are going to take advantage of what is happening in their own midst. They thought they could punish us and go free, but karma is not far from them. The sword is already in their own house. It will devour them. And at that time, we shall conquer and liberate our land. Ambazonia shall be free. God bless you all, as I hope you will remain united. And in fact, you will change from what you used to be, fighting and causing division, to a more united people. God bless you. Bye-bye. Until next week.